Hey everybody, hope you're having a good week. And today it's going to be another hot day, so go outside. We can enjoy the weather. Today I just want to share with you from Genesis 37, the whole chapter. And we see here the story of Joseph as a child and with his dad, Jacob, and his brothers, and the situation that happens there as it goes up to him being sold into slavery. But I'm just going to read. I'm not going to read the whole chapter, obviously, to all of you, because we'll be here forever. But there's kind of some lessons we can learn from this chapter on different things. And we're going to learn from Jacob what his mistake was, what his sin was. And then, Joseph adding fuel to the fire that was already burning. And then the result of anger being built up and allowed to carry on day after day, the result of that. So starting in verse 37, we see in verse 1, now Jacob lived in the land where his father had sojourned, in the land of Canaan. And these were the records of his generations of Jacob. Joseph, when 17 years of age, was pasturing the flock with his brothers while he was still a youth, along with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought back a bad report about them to their father. So we see this again later on in the chapter, that Joseph goes and he checks out, see how his brother's doing the flock, and then comes back and reports to his father. His father's older, and so at that point he brings, he's come back and said that something was wrong. So I'm sure Jacob went and dealt with it when the boys came back. And so we can probably see some animosity to him already, if he comes back and gives bad reports of his brother. So we know it's like when siblings tell their parents on them that there's something that's wrong. And so you can probably see there's some hostility there in that. And now we see in verse 3, now Israel, another name for Jacob, loved Joseph more than all his sons, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a very colored tunic. His brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, and they hated him and could not speak to him on friendly terms. So we see here the sin of Jacob, loving his son just because he's the son of his old age, I guess, at his age, and he was happy to have a son later in life, but loving one and giving him something special and not showing that love to the others, it's going to cause friction in the family, right? So we know as a father, that's something we can't do, right? We can't show favoritism for whatever reason, because it's going to show the other ones, it's going to cause friction, it's going to cause anger and hatred towards them, and even to yourself, right? We need to love, obviously, all of our kids, right? The same. And even if they're hard or difficult, they're not the same, right? We need to show that love. We need to care for them all the same, and not to do that. Now we know kids, right? We'll pick apart and say this is not fair, or you did this, you did that, and they're just being selfish, right? But this is obviously something that Jacob did that the other kids would get offended by, and he did show favoritism, and so they all saw that. They all saw that he favored Jacob. So it could be other things. It doesn't say in Scripture, but we can probably see that. Could be his actions, the way he talked to him, how he treated him, all that show that he favored him. And so that was his mistake. Then we see in verse 5 that Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. And so we see who Joseph comes and tells him the dreams that he has, 2 dreams. And again, Joseph, knowing that his brothers hate him already, he could sense that they probably, said things to him. Maybe in the field they treated him differently. Brothers shove around, do things, and mock. And so I'm sure at 17 he would know how his brothers felt because of the situation. And here we see Joseph not using wisdom, coming to his brothers and telling about this dream, because all this is going to do is anger them even more. And so sometimes we, in life, maybe there's things that we don't say, right? How we learn from that. We don't say at certain times because it's just going to make things worse. And maybe just be wise, just keep your mouth shut for a bit and then say it in the appropriate time. So for Joseph, this didn't help the relationship between him and his brothers. Maybe the way he said it, I don't know, it doesn't say in Scripture. but it just could have been the wrong time, wrong place, and it just made them even anger even more, thinking that they're going to bow down to him, and even for the dream, and not really understanding the dream, that it was from God, and thinking that the brothers is mocking them or telling them that he's going to rule them all. It wasn't the best timing, right? And so that builds into the brothers, into the sin that they do. And so we see here later on in the chapter, when Joseph was asked by his dad to go and see again how the flock's doing, how the brothers are doing. And so he goes, I'll go, and he goes and he finds a man. He looks for them at the valley of Hebron, they call Shechem. And the man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field, and the man asked him, what are you looking for? He said, I'm looking for my brothers. Please tell me where they are pasturing the flock. The man said, they've moved from here, right? And I heard them say, let's go to Dothan. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them at Dothan. And so we see here, this is the plot. This is where, we know with people who get together, especially if you have others the same way, think the same way, right? The brothers are angry, they're frustrated. Could be a bad day, right? Working on the field. Who knows what happened? Maybe, who knows? Other dynamics will be in place here to fuel their anger. But they allow their anger to carry on day after day. We know in Scripture it says, do not let the sun set on your anger, right? Meaning don't harbor it, don't allow it to grow, don't carry it on, don't start feeding it day after day, because just like Cain, God warned him, saying that sin's knocking at the door. Be careful, right? It's going to consume you. And so what happened was Cain didn't listen. He allowed that to happen, and then he did something that normally would never happen. But that anger will do things. We allow anger to take over us. We'll do things that we wouldn't do in the right mind. And so we can see how anger pollutes our thinking, our actions, and everything about us, how it just changes who we are. And so in verse 18 it says, when they saw him from a distance, before he came close to them, they plotted against him and to put him to death. Now that's pretty severe, right? And so we know with brothers are angry, talking, and being fueled by each other. And again, this is the anger that's talking. This is the emotion that's coming through that's leading them. And they all talk, and they say, okay, let's get him, let's kill him, right? And which is, it could happen to anybody, right? All of us could have that anger and get to that thought that we want to kill them or hate them and destroy them. And then it's 20. Now then, come and let us kill him and throw him into one of these pits, and we will say a wild beast devoured him. Let us see what will become of his dreams, right? So there we go. The dreams again is really affecting what they're thinking of their brother, right? But Reuben, so luckily Reuben's there, heard this and rescued him out of their hands and said, let us not take his life. Reuben further said to them, shed no blood, throw him into the pit that is in the wilderness, but do not lay hands on him. And that he's thinking that he might rescue him out of their hands and restore him to his father. So Reuben's thinking here, okay, let's not kill him, right? This is throw in the pit. So he tried to appease them because they're angry. There's probably just furious, and he said, okay, don't kill him, but throw him in the pit. And then he's saying to himself, I'll come back later, take him out, and I'll take him back to dad, out of the hands of my brother, so everything be okay, right? But we see that's not the case, right? So they do that, they take him, throw him in the pit. There's no water in the pit, this it says here, and so it's probably a deep pit, obviously. He can't crawl out and run away. And so they do that, but as they're sitting there, Reuben's not there, they're sitting there eating. They even say to themselves, okay, Dad, let's not kill our brother because he is our flesh, right? He's one of us. And so even for us, even when we're angry, right, we can sit down, think about what we've done, and go, okay, you know what? I shouldn't do what I'm doing. And so for us, I know I'm getting long here, sorry. What's the application for this? Is for our anger. First of all, let's not do things that cause people to get angry, right? For Jacob, starting his sons to hate his younger son because of his actions, because of him. Joseph, right? Let's not say things to others that would anger them, right? Maybe they need to hear it, but maybe it's not the right time. Maybe we should just wait and have wisdom. Okay, no, this moment is not a good time. Maybe I have to heal that relationship first before I bring this up. And lastly, if we do have anger, not to allow it to fester, not allow it to grow day after day after day till we get to a point where we are okay with killing somebody, even if we think it, even if we wish it. Right? That's anger has us. We're slaves to it, and we need to come to God and give that up and not allow that to take us. Or we could do something that we can't take back, and we have to live that action forever. And so that's what we got to make sure is not to allow any of that anger to come in or start anger in others. We need to have peace, bring it, love one another, forgive one another, and do what's right, and do the things that God has asked us to do. Okay, sorry that's long-winded today, but I hope everyone's well, and hopefully soon we can see each other in person. Have a good day.